Hey, it's Dominic here, making another daily video. So, today we are going to be talking about a more beginner-friendly topic for anyone who is just starting out, right? Which is about niche selection. Many people already ask me this question time and time over. Dominic, how do I pick a niche? Today, I'm going to break down how you should pick your niche and just give you sort of a blueprint that you could use over and over again, right? If you follow the YouTube Hub page on Threads, then you would know that we post a lot of niche leak, so to speak, right? And for example, this channel right here within sort of a mythology niche is making over $10,000 in the last 28 days. And another channel right here that in the calisthenic space is making over $8,000. Now, I'm not going to give you like a list of niches that are working, but what I'm going to give you is a blueprint for you to actually understand how you should pick your niche, right? The first thing you want to be focusing on is what are you specialized in? What do you have a special knowledge or a natural understanding about that topic, right? So you want to write down a topic that you actually understand about so you know what you are talking about when making videos. Because if you don't have a natural understanding about it, it could be kind of you will burn out making content about it because first off, you don't have any understanding about it. And second, you are not passionate about it. Passion is a real thing, you know. Many people say that it is a cliche thing to pick a niche with passion, but I mean, it's true. That's why it's cliche. Now, for example, a thing that people have now natural knowledge about is maybe you know about football, or maybe you know about basketball, or maybe you work in a law firm, or maybe you're a lawyer, then you would know about law, right? Then you would have a special knowledge about law. And if you are specifically passionate about that topic, you would know what to talk about and what to make content about. And same thing applies with picking niches in YouTube. For example, if I work in YouTube automation and I work in YouTube automation and if I'm passionate about it, then I would sort of know what to talk about and make my content and be with more realism and be able to provide more knowledge to people. And ultimately, that is what makes more money, being able to bring more value to people, right? So pick one to two topic that you are specifically have knowledge about, have a special knowledge about, or a natural understanding about, and then just write it down, right? Once you write down those specialized niche that you sort of has an understanding about, then what I'm going to give you next is this spreadsheet right here, which named HubForge. I don't know how many hours I spent on this, but it's basically a list of 300 plus YouTube channels that are succeeding, right? And these YouTube channels are listed in different niches. For example, tech, self-improvement, make money online, gadgets, history, right? So you could use the list that you've write down and to see if whether or not that niche that you've just written down is here. And if it's here, you could look through the average RPM. What is the average RPM? It's revenue per mil or revenue per 1,000 views on your content, right? And you can see whether or not that niche that you've selected is high in RPM. There's niches that you definitely want to avoid. For example, kids channels, meditation channels, and quizzes channels. We find that this type of content is, you know, is kind of stupid to be making, right? Because it's so saturated and nobody really watches those type of content anymore. And it's been taken over by way too huge channel and just avoid them, right? and focus more on niches like history, geography, and select a niche that are high in RPM, right? You want to sort of see if your niche is high in RPM. The RPM is, is an indicator of whether or not your content is more attractive to advertisers. So, for example, luxury or business or e-coms, right? Or finance or niches that are more attractive to advertisers because it's closely related to money. So that's why. And once you find your sort of your niche within this list, what I want you to do next is niche down, or what we call selecting a sub niches, because you don't want to be making content in a very broad niche. You have a specific knowledge about maybe law firm or within the law industry, but you don't just want to make content about law, right? Because that is very broad. People have this misconception about just making the content as broad as possible, or just select a channel niche that is the broader it is, the better. No, that is completely wrong. That is completely opposite. You want to select a niche that are more specialized and more nuanced, because the more specialized you are within that niche, the better you can stand out within the competition. The YouTube competition is a very red ocean, or what we call saturated, right? Meaning there's already so many people making YouTube videos. So the way you want to stand out, like for example, within the history niche, there's already so many people making history content. The way you want to stand out is by making content about more specific topic. For example, like ancient Roman history, Greeks history, medieval history, military history, so on and so forth, right? You don't just want to be making all content about all type of history, but you want to specialize and make a or select a sub niche that we've just mentioned, right? So, for example, right here, history, military history, World War II history, right? Or maybe luxury, about old money luxury, or tech, right? Car tech, futuristic tech, and yeah, so on and so forth, right? So you get the idea. That's about it. Hey, it's Dominic from the future here after editing this video. So if you want to work with me one-on-one, then I'm going to leave a link down below where you can click on it, watch a quick VSL, and then if you decide that you want to book a quick discovery call, you could do so. Yeah, that's it.